Never thought I would say this, but being in a position to hurt my team because I don't want to partake in the vaccine is making me question my future in the NFL. Ezekiel Elliott also spoke to reporters yesterday about the issue. Take a listen.
I got the vaccine just because, I wanted to put myself in the best situation to be out there for my team week in and week out. But, not everyone feels that strongly, or maybe other people, still have their view of vaccines. And, you can't force someone to do something that they don't want to do with their body.
Okay, Shannon, what is your reaction to this?
I don't have a problem. I agree, it's freedom. Do your thing, but don't cost me money. I always had a problem, Skip. The offensive lineman jump offside, and coach said everybody take off. No, he jumped offside. Punish him.
Why? Run a sprint.
Run a sprint, yeah, Skip. Yeah. We had to run a lap. Dan, that's what Dan brought that from Coach Landry.
Dan Reeves.
So Dan, yeah. Yes, we are in training camp. If you jumped offside, everybody have to run a lap. We running 3-4 laps because I ain't jump offside one time, make one mistake, and I got to run a mile.
It's hot.
Yeah, it's hot. And I'm hot. I'm hotter as I'm running. I have no problem with D-Hop or anybody not taking a vaccine.
Yeah.
But don't cost me money, bro. If you want to cost yourself money, have at it. You cost me money, we're going to have a problem.
Yeah.
You not vaccinated, bro, I love you, we teammates, but stay where away from me. Don't put me in a situation like that. Do your thing. I ain't got no problem, because here's the thing, Skip. Actions have consequences. If you're willing to, if your action, my action is, I don't want the vaccine. Okay, what's the consequences for me not having the vaccine and causing an outbreak? Well, the NFL says you're going to have to, and we can trace it back to you. You're going to have to, we're going to forfeit the game, and ain't nobody getting paid. What? Skip, I'm going to get $200,000 a game.
Yep.
I get $500,000 a game. Oh, hey.
The owners are saying you will not cost us money.
That's the thing. Bro. We took a hit last year. There's nothing we can do about it. We can do something about this one.
Yep.
Now, you ain't got to take no vaccine.
Yep.
But we gonna hit you where it hurt. Now, there's some of these guys, I don't know if people know this, but let me tell you, there's some of these guys making $2 million a game. $2 million. I want to know how many games think somebody gonna be able to miss before they say, hey, D-Hop, you need to reimburse me for that, bro.
Yeah.
Or Cole Beasley, you need to reimburse me for that. Or whomever. Like I said, that is your choice. But Skip, what I'm starting to see with guys is that they'll take, well, this happened. And I get to some situations, I know people personally, that they have blood clots, they have things that they can't take the vaccine.
Yep.
Okay, I get that, Skip. But people will take, well, somebody got it and they got this and that. If you did that with every medicine, just imagine, somebody had an allergic reaction to aspirin. Well, that would be no medicine, because there's not a medicine created that somebody didn't have an adverse reaction to.
Agreed.
So I got no problem with it, bro. If you don't want to do the vaccine, don't do the vaccine. But when you start taking money out of my pocket, you and I need to have to have a conversation.
So the NFL dropped the hammer yesterday and said, forfeit, threaten forfeit. And I'm with you. I completely respect DeAndre's position here. And yet, as great a receiver as he is, and he's top 5, some people think he's top 1 or 2. As great as he is still an employee of that team, and he is a teammate of the Cardinals.
Correct.
So, to your point, it's a free country. And if you have a problem with this, and I don't know what his problem, but he's obviously got some issue with it. It can be political, it can be cultural.
He said his sister, I think if I read it correctly, he said his sister's husband took the vaccine and had a heart attack shortly thereafter. Something to that.
Yeah, that's true. That's right. I get mixed up because there are a lot of players who have voiced or posted issues with this. It can be cultural, it can be racial, it can be political, it can be 1,000 different things that you have an issue with off this vaccine. It can be that I just don't like needles. I don't know. It can be a lot of things. But whatever it is, because it's a free country, you can opt out. A lot of players opted out just because of COVID a year ago, right? In all the sports. Well, you could opt out this if you said, I just don't want to do this. I don't want to I feel pressure to get a vaccine, so I opt out. Well, that's fine, but you're not going to get paid, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, you do have that option if you want to take that option.
They gave him that option last year, Skip. If you do not wish to play, you don't have to play. You can opt out of the season, and hey, I think you can take like $150,000 up against this year's salary. But this year they didn't do that. If you opt out, you get nothing.
You get nothing. So this is a looming issue, not only in the NFL, but I wanted to bring up the fact that Christine Brennan had a scathing piece today in USA Today about our Olympic team.
Right.
Here's the headline. With nearly 100 of our Olympians unvaccinated, too many Americans are terrible teammates and guests. And she goes on to write, this is the companion piece to the NFL's action that they took yesterday. She writes, that means there are almost 100 American athletes at these games who failed to protect themselves with COVID-19 vaccine, almost 100 who are flying blind into Japan's state of emergency in Japan for what could be their only opportunity to compete at the Olympic Games. This is it. For many of them, it'll just be a one shot.
One shot, yeah.
In your life. And because of whatever reason you had, personal reason, you just said, no, I'm not going to take that. Well, it's going to further your opportunity, your chance will be a little better of being able to perform in the Olympics if you got vaccinated.
Correct.
In a country in Japan where the hosts are at far greater risk for COVID being brought into their country because Japan is largely unvaccinated at this point. I don't know what's happening here. What?
And then, Skip, I'm vaccinated. Somebody else is not vaccinated. They get it, and then we do contract tracing, and then I got close contact. Then I got to leave. Now, my opportunity to compete for a medal is gone. What, 75%? There's only one shot. What is it? I think 75% of the athletes is only one Olympics.
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear stories about Carl Lewis went to 4 Olympics, and Sue Bird is in, and Dinah Taurasi, I think, is in their 5th Olympic.
Highest level.
But that's anomalies.
It is.
Normally it's one time. You got pushed back last year. Skip, it's supposed to happen in 2020, and it got pushed back. So if I got to go home now, what's the likelihood I'm gonna be back in 2024 in London?
Nope. And again, if you have an issue with the vaccine, getting the vaccine, you didn't have to go in the first place, but you're there now.
Right.
And you're threatening Japan, and all the surveys show that most of the vast majority of the Japanese do not want this Olympics to be staged.
Of course
because
not.
they're in a state of emergency.
Exactly.
And it's been a year delayed already.
Already. But I knew, and you know, one of the officials I was hearing him says, you know, we still could, you know, call this thing off. It's too close. Too much money has been lost. You're not calling it off now. If you was gonna call it off, you'd have called it off months ago. You know, I mean, yeah, because it started spiking. But Skip, like I said, guys, NFL players, this is within your rights. But you have to understand, freedoms come with consequences.
Yeah.
You have the freedom not to get the vaccine. But the NFL also has the levy the consequences of taking your paycheck. And that's where I draw the line. Hey, I support D-Hop and his ability not to get the vaccine. But when he start coming from my pockets, he and I need to have a conversation. That's all I'm saying.
No, I'm totally with you. So last year we managed to get through an NFL season largely without fans.
Right.
But there was no solution to the problem.
Correct.
Now there's at least a potential solution. Most of the science shows it will work.
The science is showing that it's the unvaccinated that are the hospitalizations. The deaths are due to the unvaccinated.
Not that vaccinated can't get it.
Right.
Maybe for a second time.
Right.
That has happened in some cases.
Some cases, yeah.
Breakthrough cases. But by and large, vaccination has worked so far.
Right. Maybe, but I don't know, Skip. Maybe they like wearing masks. Maybe they like being on a plane wearing masks. Maybe they like being in building wearing masks. Maybe because we've become, it happened for over a year, Skip, especially in L.A. In some places, Skip, they had a mask on for like 2 days and that was it. But here in L.A. County, we've had masks on for the better part of 17, 18 months.
We have, and we're back.
And we're back, and we're back. I want to try to get back to some kind of normalcy. I don't know if we'll ever be normal, but normalcy. But maybe they don't want that. Okay, fine. But I just, like I said, do you, but I'm going to stay away from you as much as I can because I ain't trying to miss no checks.
Well, I know what you would have done going to the Olympics. You would have gotten the shots.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? And you would have just stayed in your room and gotten ready.
But see, my thing was, Skip, and everybody don't look at it like it was the end all be all for me.
Yep.
My whole, what the hell I do all that, the sacrifices of not going to party and denying myself certain things was to be at this level. And now I'm at this level and an opportunity to compete for a championship. That's what it was all about for me. I don't fault anybody. Hey, You got your reason for why you don't want to do it. Like you say, maybe you have a condition that don't allow you to take.
Yep.
But
you were smart enough to realize this is going to come and this is going to go.
Yes.
And your window is open.
Yes.
This is your opportunity,
Yes.
and you better maximize
Yes.
it. And you did.